All right, y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back to another Jab podcast. It's episode 149. Dang, 149 already, man. Like always, I'm Combo Breaker 99.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy P.
And we back again, back with another one. Like always, been grinding, taking care of business, but we got to get together and talk about some some news in boxing. We've been having a lot of interesting news, P, but not too many interesting fights, man. A lot of talk about interesting fights, but still nothing on the table, man. Like, how does that make you feel? I mean, we have fights this weekend, but nothing really like worth shouting about. But overall, man, it's just like we getting a lot of talk but no action, man. How you been feeling, man?
Yeah, I pretty I pretty much agree, man. Even though the WBC came down with all of these mandated fights, which
Mm.
the list looks really good, it don't look like we're gonna see a lot of those fights, man. Well, not in the immediate future.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, man. Because while we here, man, I kind of want to pull up that list, man. I just want to ask you, P, like which fights interest you on here? Because a lot of them look too good to be true, man. Don't you feel that
Mhm.
way? Some of them look too good to be true.
The way I took it at is even the sanctioning bodies are getting tired of this shit, man, and saying, "Yo, look, y'all won't do it. We gonna do it." You know what I mean? That's kind of
Yeah,
the way I took it. Like, because the fights that was on there, like you say, they are all good fights. That the fans pretty much want to see.
yeah, because it came to a point where it seemed like Mauricio Suleiman, and the chairman, and all of them sitting at the table that day, they were just like, we got to take this in our own hands. We're gonna start announcing the fights. Even the way
Absolutely.
he announced the Spence Thurman fight, he was like, "Well, since these guys haven't negotiated and they're not finished, he's like, well, we're mandating this fight, right?"
Yeah.
So that kind of like had me in a place where I'm like, okay, well, this is good, but how many do you think are really going to go through with it, or would they just rather vacate belts at this point?
That's gonna be like the sad part if that plays out that way, and because like I say,
Mhm.
pretty much all the fights. I don't know if you pulled the list up yet, but
Yeah,
all
I
the
did.
fights, decent fights and fights that, like I
Mhm.
say, most of the boxing fans want to see. So I mean, I know, like you say, the Earl Spence and Keith Thurman fight. I know that Keith Thurman vowed that he wouldn't give. Um, I mean, sorry, Earl Spence
Yeah,
vowed that he
yeah.
wouldn't give Keith Thurman a shot at the title. And I
Mhm.
get it. When Keith Thurman had the title, he was acting a little bougie or whatever, and now the tables have turned. But I feel like that's still a kind of interesting fight, and it's not the fight that it was 4 years ago, but I think that fight still holds a little bit of intrigue. And I think Earl made him suffer. He not giving in if he fight. He made him suffer. He made him beg for it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know if it'll happen. And then the Pitbull Cruz and Shakur Stevenson fight, great fight. I wanted to see that fight.
Mhm. Yeah.
From the way it's looking, Pitbull Cruz don't want nothing to do with that fight. The way it looked like,
Right.
it's playing out, he don't want nothing to do with that fight. But I thought that was another good fight.
Yeah.
I know
Okay.
that Caleb
I
and
got I got the actual list here. I could go down here and I just kind of want to ask
okay,
you your thoughts. We can kind of segment this thing out. That'll work. I'll start with the heavyweight. They got the heavyweight on here first. As y'all know, heavyweight, they mandated Deontay Wilder and Andy Ruiz. That's his new mandatory because they're gonna try to fight um for that title. They're gonna try to, it was a title eliminated. They're gonna try to fight Tyson Fury next. But what are your thoughts on that fight, man?
I mean, like I said, another good fight that most boxing fans would like to see.
Hmm. Let me ask you this though. Wilder has a good chance of winning this fight, man. And if he does, where that puts him for a fourth time. Do you think that's a good idea for him? Or do you think he should go the other route to like Usyk?
I mean,
or even Anthony Joshua for the time being.
That's where it gets complicated at. I mean,
Yeah.
some of these fights they mandated. It is other options out there for these fighters, but my whole thing is that make those options happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Make those options happen, because the WBC, you can't tell me if Spence versus Crawford was made, they would have an issue. They would say, okay, well, we can make Keith Thurman wait, but since the fact that that's not happening, they saying, yo, we need some fights.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me that, if a better fight is being made, that the WBC don't got a problem with that. The problem is fights not being made, ain't. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if Deontay Wilder got another option or another play on the table, what's the time frame for that? We can't do an Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford negotiation deal waiting for those fights to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I see it. It's taking them too long to move on certain fights. So if they got plays, let us know, set it up, let it be in talks of happening. Otherwise, I'm with the WBC mandating some of these fights and stripping people.
Right. Because if there were options on the table, I don't think they would have laid the hammer down like this. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They wouldn't have said, okay,
Exactly.
Wilder Ruiz is a go for this WBC title. They would have just said, okay, well, Wilder's already got options with Joshua or Usyk.
Right.
We'll
we know that fight is coming up.
Right.
We'll let him. We'll see how that plays out. That's what I'm saying. That if fighters had stuff going on, I can't see the WBC, coming down and the way they did and mandating some things. So I mean, like I say, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, overall, like, I'm kind of worried about if Wilder wins, he goes back into a fourth Fury fight. That being a fight that I don't know a lot of people want to see again. But I think the Wilder Ruiz matchup is a good matchup, though. I mean, I got Wilder winning, but you never know what Ruiz can do. I mean, I was looking at this dude's training and just looking at his size and physique. It's just kind of fascinating watching how this heavy guy got this type of hand speed. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's definitely a fight that Wilder couldn't sleep on, and he would have to come in there on top of his game. I mean, and that if that's the way those chips fell, and the window wound up getting Tyson Fury, that's already a roll of the dice. You never know what Tyson Fury going to do. But if that's the way the chips fell, it is what it is. It's not. I'm not saying that that's a fight that I want to see. But if he went through the steps and it's just the way it falls, that's different. But as far as him just aiming for Tyson Fury, I wouldn't really, I wouldn't really agree with that. But if he just had this, if they mandating this and he fights this fight, and then the next fight for him is Tyson Fury, it's kind of just the way the chips fell. Wasn't like he was really chasing that fight down. You know what I mean? So,
right.
But either way, make a fight. And like I said, that particular fight is a few good fights for Wilder. Ruiz, like you said, AJ, Usyk. So, I mean, we don't have to see him in the Fury fight, but let us know what's going on. I've been hearing all types of things. I've been hearing he want the Usyk fight. I've been hearing he want this fight. He want to do this. What he really is going to do, I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I don't know either at this point. But the thing is, you know what? With the heavyweights, I'm not as frustrated or worried because they have been mixing it up. You know what I mean, P? Like, Wilder's already did it 3 times. Ruiz already fought Joshua twice. Tyson Fury, he about to fight Derek Chisora a 3rd time. Nobody want to see it, but he about to do it. So these guys, it don't really seem like it takes. It's not like pulling teeth with these guys where it's like you got to do this, or we got to really lay the hammer down again. Like, I think they just came to a point. The WBC wanted to do it across the board with everybody, just to make everybody happy. But I don't really think they were as frustrated with the heavyweights where they were like with everybody else. You know, like these other divisions, it's kind of hard to get
Mm-hmm.
even Canelo in there with a Benevidaz. You know, he trying to use this Mexican excuse. I don't fight Mexicans. Well, well, Suleiman will fix that. You know what I mean? He'll fix that. He'll be like,
Right.
let me go ahead and sit down and
Right.
set this thing up so he can make it happen. But next fight we had the light heavyweight fights. Beterbiev, he got a WBC belt, so they trying to get him to fight the mandatory Caleb Smith. But they actually being lenient, man. He can actually get the Bivol fight first, which that's the fight everybody want to see. That
Mm-hmm.
undisputed fight. That's the one to go. So I'm not really mad at them there. They letting him get a chance, man. Like skipping that WBC fight with Caleb Smith, man. What do you think about that Bivol Beterbiev fight? I mean, for me, next to Spence Crawford, that's my number 2 fight, man.
Yeah, that's the fight that everybody want to see at light heavyweight, and
Yeah.
hands down. So you know what I
Mhm.
mean. At some point, they're gonna have to make that fight happen. You know. So
Mhm.
like you said, I'm cool with them. The WBC having that little catch 22 for the guys at 175, because that's a fight that everybody wants to see.
Mhm.
But in the same token, better Biev is one of those guys that any fight is, well, most of his fights are exciting because of his style. So it's just like certain people I just want to see active, man. Just be
Yeah.
active, man. You know what
Just
I
be
mean?
active.
Sometimes it's not a name or a big fight there, but if these guys are staying active, that's better than not being active. you know?
Right. And you got to remember, Beterbiev at 37 too, and he's still being active.
Oh wow. Hey, I didn't realize he was that old. So yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
that's a testament to keeping himself in good shape throughout the years. All the guys not gonna be able to perform until they 37. That you know what I mean?
No, they not, man. And he got a test. I won't really say a test, but he got a good guy in front of him in January, Anthony Yard, man.
Yeah, yeah. Anthony Yard, he's take my hat off to him for taking this fight. This is a very dangerous fight for anybody at 175. I know a lot of guys didn't want to take this fight, so I take my hat off to him for stepping in the ring, but he definitely got his hands full. And
Mhm. Yeah, he do, man. I'm glad Bivol though he set the record straight with the light heavyweights. He went on, got Canelo up out of there. Said, look, this is for the big boys. Canelo 168. That's where you can go, but stay out of here, man. I'm just kind of glad Canelo left this division alone. Now we got the real fights happening again. Better be at Bivol, man. Like I said, I'd rather see Yard fight Better be before Canelo come back at 175. To me,
yeah, of course, man, because
yeah.
he stepped up and showed that he was definitely outclassed at 175, and 168 is looking like his his ceiling.
Hmm.
Which is nothing is wrong with it, nothing is wrong with it. Like I said, uh somebody on Twitter posted something, and it was like, Canelo was 32, Earl was 32, and Terrence Crawford is 35. And it is what it is. And but when you think about their bodies of work and what Canelo has done in 32 years, it's still just like, it's mind blowing, bro. It's mind
Hmm.
blowing. I mean,
Yeah,
he done
man.
fought everybody, went up, did all this stuff in the same amount of time that, a lot. So that's what I'm saying. When we look at Canelo, even though I'm not the biggest fan, we still getting more of that throwback type fighter when we see him. And as far as fighting, you know what I mean? Just
Yeah, yeah, we
being
do.
active, I guess.
Yeah, we do. Even when he throwing a name out there like Usyk, which I think Usyk would beat him. I'm just glad that
Yeah.
he's stepping out of the box. Like we can barely get Erlen Crawford in proper negotiations. we can't get
Right.
past one fight
Right.
with these guys where Canelo's just putting names on his resume. But speaking of 168, man, this is probably the next fight I'm really looking forward to. I know you are too, P. They got David Benavidez and Caleb Plant lined up for a title
Mm-hmm.
elimination. And like I said, that's how they're going to enforce it now. If Benavidez win, Canelo got no choice now. So he gonna have to fight him, man. Like, what you think about that?
Right. The best thing about that, Ant, is according to them, they already agreed to that fight. Caleb and Benavidez, no struggle, no, easy, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
like, when you see stuff like that happen, man, it just goes to show you that Spence and Crawford, that's overkill, bro. That fight ain't that big, and to be causing all the friction and all the stuff that it's causing. We do want to see it, but it's not. Spence versus Crawford is not bigger than boxing, bro. You feel what I'm saying? It's like they changing the game, and it's not that big, So
No, look, as
first off, I
men
love
that's
that
been
fight, but
around,
second off, I love the fact that they just made that so easily, and
yeah,
you didn't have to twist nobody's arm or nothing.
yeah. I was gonna say, as men have been around boxing, P, you've been around boxing forever. You know what caliber of a fight is, and Spence and Crawford is not like the Manny and the Floyd fight.
Exactly,
You know,
exactly. No disrespect to them, but I'm
no,
just
not at
saying. I
all.
mean, at some point, we gotta put this fight in perspective. It's a great fight. We all want to see it, but it's not. It's not gonna be the holy grail of boxing. It's not. It's not gonna be that. It's just another good fight. To be
Mm-hmm.
honest.
Because we already had Leonard Hearns, Hagler Hearns. I mean, Duran, Leonard, all of these other fights, Trinidad, De La Hoya, and this one just goes in the history book as the same. Everybody gonna like one over the other, but it's not
Right.
like this one that just sells out to everybody. In my opinion, it just needs
Yeah.
to happen.
And it's not like the stars have lined up like they've never lined up before for a fight. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah,
We're not getting necessarily lightning in the bottle right here. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like I say, don't get us wrong. It's a great, great, great fight. We do want to see it. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying it shouldn't stop boxing
Hmm.
because they don't want to fight. You know what I'm saying? Or the fight
Hmm.
didn't play out. So like I said, I'm just glad that Caleb and Benavidez, both champions, both have names in boxing. They just made a fight real easy that a lot of people want to see.
How do you see it
That's all
going
I'm saying.
between these two?
Um, it's gonna be interesting to me, Ant, because in my opinion, Caleb feeling himself right now. He coming out that big knockout of Darrell. So I think he
Yeah,
feeling himself a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I think he feeling himself a little bit.
yeah, he
But
is.
I still think Benavidez is gonna give him way more than he probably can handle or whatever. But I like that. You know what I'm saying? I like that. Don't go in there cowering, go in there with your chest sticking out and let's get a fight.
Hmm.
So you know what I mean? But I do think Benavidez was gonna wind up taking it at, you know. I
I
mean, I
can
just
see
think
that.
he's a better fighter. You know, I just think he's a better fighter. To be
Yeah,
honest, you know what I'm saying. I mean, as far as like resume, they kind of in the same realm of what I'm saying,
they are.
being tested in competition. But I just think overall, Benavidez, got more weapons or whatever. Caleb might be the smarter fighter. I don't know, but I think Benavidez got more weapons and he overwhelm a guy like Caleb Plant. See how Canelo kind of overwhelmed him. A guy like Benavidez who got an AR-15 in his hands in the ring. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm. He
so
got clips, boy.
we'll
He be.
see. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a good fight, but I definitely think Benavidez wind up taking it.
All right. Yeah, I agree. I agree on that one, man. Because Caleb got a good jab, man, but he ain't. I don't know if he got power, man. I don't know if he got that power to get Benavidez respect. And Benavidez, that boy, he be destroying guys. Like C- Caleb, he can outclass dudes, but I don't think he can weather this storm that's coming at him, man. But we'll see. We'll see, man. Because I
Yeah,
see a big storm in Benevidaz. That guy's big, man, for 168.
yeah, big young boy too. You
Yeah,
know,
he's
big
still
young
there.
kid. So
Hmm. All right, we got another one here, P. This one's interesting to me. This is going to be a title eliminated for Jamel at 154. Sebastian Fondora versus Tony Harrison, man. It's crazy they made that fight because I was just thinking about that one day, matching them up. Tony Harrison, he's tall and he's long, but man, this dude is taller and longer. I mean,
yeah,
Fondora, still need to see more from him, but he's got some killer power. This little skinny dude, one junior middleweight. You see the damage he does on these fighters. I'm like curious to see if Tony still got enough to box a guy like that because they're kind of on different sides. Fondora, he hungry, he young. Tony Harrison, he won a belt before, but he lost to Charlo and then got knocked out. Then one of his fights was close. How do you see this one going, man? Like from what you've seen with Fondora?
um, it's another fun fight, I think, and another fun fight. And I tell you, man, Fondora, he is a weird looking guy, man. If it to be
Mm-hmm.
154, man, he got these legs from the 70s or something, man. I don't know how to describe him, but
It's like
he
bell
definitely
bottoms
got
without
like,
the pants.
yeah, dude. I mean, he's a young kid, but he got this old man like presence to him too, But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and the boy can scrap though, man. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? He can scrap, and how many times have we seen somebody that size? Like you said, Tony Harrison is like 6 foot. This dude is way bigger than Harrison. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So how many times have we seen somebody at 154 with probably that type of reach and just that height, that being that long, man? It's just an interesting fight. But I think I think I would rather see Harrison. I mean, sorry, Fondora win the fight. So possibly we see him and Jamel just to get a different look. It'll be the
Mhm.
same thing with Deontay Wilder. Do we really want to see Harrison and Jamel for a third time?
Right.
I
Right.
necessarily don't. You know what I mean? But if that's the way it felt, it is what it is. But I will be pulling for Fondora in that fight, and I think he will be able to pull it off because Tony Harrison kind of hit or miss. We see he lose focus, you know, on one side, but on another side, you know, this isn't as big as a fight as Jamel fight, and maybe it's not as much pressure, and maybe he can do better under less pressure. Tony Harrison, that is, but I don't know. That remains to be seen. But I I would pick Fondora in this fight.
Okay. You know, the other girl that just unified the belts, at Alicia Baumgartner.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's his fighter. Tony Harrison trains her, and she was actually at the WBC board, and she helped him get this fight. Man, she was like mandating it, help petition for him to get it because I guess Tony wanted it, and I'm not sure they're gonna get it, so she helped him get it. Man, that was crazy.
Oh, wow. I didn't know he trained her. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying, man. You can never really count people out. Tony Harrison, that first Jamel fight, I mean, I ain't really give him a chance, but he proved me and a lot of people, wrong that he could pull off the upset. So, I mean, I guess he's a sharp guy. He out here training fighters,
Yeah.
training Bumgarner. She's a champion, right? At so,
Yeah. Yeah. She is
you know,
unified. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fondor, he is a young green cat. So I mean, like I said, I think it makes for a fun fight, but I still would just lean with Fondor, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? It's not just he young, the kid can fight, and it's a lot of fight being that tall at 154. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, yeah. That dude. right now, I think his game, you just can't knock him out his game right now. Because he come off nice, but he got a mean streak in there. I noticed with him,
Oh
like,
yeah. That's why I say he got the old nice man vibe
yeah,
going on all day long.
yeah. Even just the way he's shaped, like you said, man, he just look like one of them old dudes that take your head off if you get out of line. Like he just look,
Mhm.
and you ain't really phased at him at first, like when you see the physique, but then you like, damn, this kid that strong. I'll be like, damn, yeah, man,
And
yeah.
real quick, while we talking about Fundora, I don't
Uh-huh.
know if you've seen it, but it was cringeworthy, bro. Him and Sean Porter doing the duet. Have you been seeing that stuff Sean Porter been doing?
I seen like some of it, but I didn't see the duet. I just every time I see
Yeah,
it, I
you
just
you
kind of
you
go
gotta
by it.
check some. I haven't been watching the whole thing, but first I caught him doing a duet with Riddick Bowe. Oh my god, that was terrible. I'm just keeping it real. It was terrible, man. Sean Porter and Riddick Bowe doing a duet, and then I seen him and Fundora doing a duet, and I mean, they are just having fun with it. But I tell you, man, it was funny. It was funny, and then think, and Sean Porter is a small guy. Him standing next to Fundora, they got the different styles of dressing. It was pretty cringy to watch. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh yeah, I just pulled it. I'm gonna look at it later. Oh man, singing some
Yeah,
Johnny
check it
Cash.
out, bro. Check it out, bro. I don't know what Sean's trying to do, but man, it's rough to watch.
I can believe he over here singing Johnny Cash. Oh boy. Oh
Hey,
come on.
bro,
Come on.
I didn't want to go into it's rough to watch, bro. It's not like he's singing top 10 hits. No,
Yeah.
it's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
I believe that. I believe it. He ain't singing no Temptations. He's singing some Johnny Cash. Okay. Oh, come on, man. Oh, Porter, what you doing, man? Boxing done got him. He need a box again.
Bro.
Oh boy. But
Oh
all
man.
right. Look at the welterweight, man. All right. We were just talking about this earlier. The welterweight, Suleiman is going to mandate Errol Spence and Keith Thurman. And real quick for HB, my thoughts, I think I'm with you. Like I respect Errol Spence's choice to not take the fight. Like when he said, I'm gonna throw it out the window, I don't want to give him that satisfaction. I agree with that, but it's still not a bad fight at this point. It still really ain't a bad fight because he can kill two birds with one stone. He made him wait, but now since Keith made him wait, he could go in there and dominate, give him the beating of his life if he wants to. You know what I mean? Like if
Mhm.
Keith really got on his nerves, he can translate that energy, go in there and fight him. That's one reason I want to see it, P. I just wanted to say that before I asked you. But I think that's a good way for him to take it out on him now. Even take some of the Crawford frustration out on Keith Thurman. You know what I mean? Because Keith is still a good name, P. He's still a good name, man. Like what you think?
Like I said a little earlier, man, I definitely think it's still an intriguing fight.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fight that we definitely wanted to see a few years ago. And the tables were turned, and Keith Thurman, he wouldn't really give Earl the time of day. But like you said, I respect Earl, saying, look, man, when it's my turn, I'm gonna do you the same way you did me. But he made him pay. He made Keith Thurman pay. Keith Thurman is groveling right now, and it's not like you know what I'm saying. It's not like
Big time. He is big time.
yeah. So it's like yeah, Earl, you made your point. You know what I'm saying, and we understand it. They made you do it. You know what I'm saying? It's not something if it was up to you, you wouldn't have done it. But, go ahead and do it because it's still a fight that the fans want to see. And most fans believe that you would run through Keith Thurman or definitely win the fight. So, like you say, I just see it kind of being a win-win, especially for the situation he kind of backed into now, man.
Mm-hmm.
Is Keith Thurman or Stanosis, right?
Yeah, Stan
Is that
Yost.
how you say his name?
Yeah, Stan Yosis.
So yeah, Staniosis. Nobody really knows Staniosis. You know what I'm saying? You'll be so that fight is not really that viable. Keith Thurman is a name. We know you don't want to fight him, but since that fight fell apart, it's like you kind of in a situation, and now they talking
Mhm.
about it's mandated, so you could be stripped. So it's just it got real complicated, and it got real complicated in that aspect. So I, I, I believe the fans would want to see that. If I was Earl, I would go ahead and just scratch the Thurman name off the list and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. Because let's be honest, it's not a matter of ducking or being scared here, but think about it. Keith or Boots, right now, Jerron Boots Ennis is kind of looking dangerous to me, even for Errol at this point. So I'm thinking like you don't want to mess up the potential big fight between Terrence. So you don't want to throw that much of a big roadblock in front of you. So to me, the one mandatory I think would be good would be the Keith fight. It's I won't say
Yeah.
safe, but you got to remember Keith is not the same. He has a still a threat level to him, but when it's all said and done, if Errol does beat Keith Thurman, he could still say, "Oh well, Crawford, I just beat Keith Thurman while you beat Avanesian." You know what I mean? He can still kind of throw that in his
But
face. I mean,
yeah, it'll be another. He can still run with his doing the heavy lifting
right?
claim. So, um, but I want to hop on Boots real quick, and
Yeah.
that fight. I do like Boots, but when people say they want to see him in there, with some of the older guys, those fights can be very interesting. You know what I mean? Because these guys are very wise compared to a guy like Boots Ennis, regardless of
Hmm.
coming from Philly and his father being his trainer. Some things only come with years of experience or whatever. But
Oh,
you
true,
know,
true.
you know what I mean. But
Oh yeah.
I like the kid, but I wouldn't bet the house on him yet.
Yeah. Oh
Definitely
yeah.
with
Yeah.
like the top
Hmm.
guys at 147. He give him maybe a run for their money, but it's more to it than just his youth and athleticism that we've been seeing in the ring. Give him some time. Because we gotta look at it like this. When I see him, I be thinking about Adrian Broner, not personality wise, but skill set wise. Adrian Broner was looking good just like that.
That's
You know what
true.
I'm saying? And being compared to Floyd and all this stuff, and what happened later on. Not that he didn't have the skills necessarily, he didn't have the mental. And
Hmm.
mentally, just broke down. So I'm just saying, I'm not saying Boots is that by no means. I like the kid. I like what he's doing, but a lot of people like what he's doing, and he'll beat this guy, he'll beat that guy, and you just never know. You just never know, But one thing we do know, and is that the young guy is always green, and the older guy is mostly more times out of more times out of not is wiser,
Hmm. Yeah, I agree with you.
and
Hmm.
that's in life, in boxing, and anything we do. So it's hard to rule that out, and it's hard to rule out wisdom, man, because we seen just crazy stuff happen in the ring. The older guy just he just knew more stuff. You know what I mean? He just knew more
Yeah. Oh
stuff.
yeah.
He wasn't necessarily the better fighter. He just knew more stuff and wound up winning the fight.
Having more
Pretty
tools.
much. With that being said,
Yeah.
with going back to Earl Spence, his choices kind of being narrowed down to Jerron Boots Ennis or Keith Thurman, and most people would say, "Yo, stay away from Boots Ennis." And I get it, I understand, but it's like Errol Spence, the Boots Ennis fight might be more physically taxing on Errol Spence because he is the younger guy. He moving around, he doing all this stuff. But I think the Keith Thurman fight is more the chess match, and so I don't know which fight will be harder. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Right. Right. Yeah, because I think at this point it would be nice for Errol to kind of take a more of a chess match. To kind of take the, like you said, the more physical. You want to leave the physical challenge alone leading up to the Terrence Crawford fight because I think all that movement. Yeah, Errol trains hard. He always, he's always preparing, but that could take some wear and tear too, because he's been in some grueling
Yeah,
fights, Porter and
yeah,
Ugas. So,
absolutely, absolutely,
somebody like
absolutely.
Thurman, he's gonna be taking his time, so that'll kind of give him breathing room to pick his punches and not even worry about being, you know, mauling and all of that type of stuff. But
When I think about Boots, I just think of like a raging bull and Earl being the matador. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I
yeah,
just get that visual, and you know what I'm saying? Him constantly charging in, and you gotta, counter it. But the Keith Thurman thing, they both gonna be sitting back calculating, in their heads.
hmm
They got their hard drives going, and you know, because both of them are wise. They know the dangers that any little miscalculation can make. Where Boots, he naive to that. He think he young, he bulletproof. That he don't need. You know what I'm saying? You still got that youth in you. That that indestructibility. That feeling of that anyway. But these guys older. They know they got a couple aches and pains, and they know. You know what I'm saying? So I just say in that
yeah.
aspect, it'll be a more of a chess match, and probably would be more of an intriguing fight. Yeah, Boots might be exciting, but this should be more intriguing. You know what I'm saying? Because these guys gonna be thinking and fighting. You know what I mean? Not just fighting.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I think so too, man. It's gonna test some IQs out. See how Arrow IQ and Thurman's is at this point, man. Boots though, going back to what you were saying, like he might need to fight somebody like Ugas or something, to see where he really stands, right?
Yeah. Before you start talking about he gonna beat the top guys, and I mean, I heard a lot of people. That's a narrative out there. The top guys are ducking him, and I don't know. I
Mm,
don't know, but yeah, like you say, somebody like a Ugas, that would be a good test because somebody like a Ugas could expose some stuff. You know what I
hmm
mean? Because Ugas is older and wiser. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Ugas probably at that point where he like, I took some beatings too, man. I'm gonna try to box some more. So you never know what could happen, man.
I agree.
All right.
That's a good fight, though, Ant.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like that. Yeah, Boots and
Yeah,
Ugas. Yeah,
yeah.
shit.
Um, what did you think? Let me ask you this sidebar real quick. What did you think about Boots saying like they couldn't really stay active this year? They only fought one time. Like, do you think that's because they were trying to look for big fights, or they should have been trying to just fight whoever?
Yeah,
I think that's a good excuse to say,
yeah,
"Oh, nobody wanted to fight him."
yeah. I think it was more them looking for big names. Cause I mean, Ant, let's be real, man. It's like some people fighting. It's not like nobody's fighting. We got
Mhm.
other combat sport, other combat sport promotions putting on fights every weekend. We got other boxing promotions. Fights are happening. I don't. That's why it's hard for us to really understand why we can't get the fights that we want. You know what I mean? I really don't have the answer for that because things are moving. It's not like we in the pandemic we shut down.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah, I just
Boots.
kind of thought that was weird. I was like,
Yeah, I
they
mean,
did only
like
fight
they
once.
say, Virgil Ortiz is always there for Boots. People can say that he ducking him. That's a fight that make a lot more sense than him talking about he could beat some of the top guys in the welterweight division, to be honest, and you know what I mean. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. I like the brother, but we still just got to see how it play out. We seen all that stuff before. Seen all that before, ain't you know what I mean? Only thing in
Right.
boxing that proves anything is time. We seen
Mhm.
all that stuff before. So
All
that's
right.
just my take on it, bro.
Oh yeah, yeah. I get you, man. I get you, man. Like even that Ortiz fight, Virgil Ortiz, that would be a good match for him.
Yeah,
Um, Definitely.
absolutely.
Okay, going back to what we were talking about earlier, this lightweight fight, man, between Shakur and Pitbull Cruz, man. You were saying earlier that it didn't seem like Pitbull they really wanted this fight, like his team, or he didn't really want it.
I mean, I would say that he didn't really want it, but I think I seen a statement out there that his coach made about him, doing some other stuff or whatever. But I mean, if the coach is saying it, I would think that, it's coming from, Pitbull Cruz himself. But I don't know, Ant. I'm the last one to say somebody is ducking or somebody is scared of somebody. You know what I mean? I love that fight. I would love to see it. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but the according to the stuff I've been seeing online, it's looking like the feedback from his side of the fight, they don't really want to fight.
I mean, yeah, I'm with you. I like the fight because I like these type of matchups, but I definitely wouldn't put it past him because, sometimes, they always talk about how the Mexican style is the most popular style, but it comes down to it sometimes when Mexican fighters got to fight everybody now. They don't like to fight that Black American style. Let's be real sometimes.
Oh, now look,
Because it
without
can
a
make them
doubt,
look bad. I'm not trying to, bash the Mexican style, but I'm just saying, like,
no,
when it comes down to the Black American fighter, they don't think it's a good matchup. They use the term boring, but what they mean is it's too technical for them, and they think it don't make the best matchup. It makes them
absolutely.
it makes them look bad for the entertainment value in the long run. So that could be one of the reasons because Robert Garcia, he didn't want Mikey Garcia to fight Errol. Granted, maybe because he was bigger, but Errol just boxed him in that fight, right?
Right.
So
Right.
that could be,
Absolutely, man. I mean,
yeah.
it's definitely politics and behind the scenes things that go into, making a fight or whatever. But I think Shakur definitely would beat him, but it's still just a good fight, and it's not Pitbull wouldn't lay down. I mean, he one of the few guys that went 12 with Tank. Ain't too many people did that. So
Yeah.
I just think it would be a good fight. It's a dangerous fight. I get it. It ain't the fight. He ain't trying to call out Shakur. But if they mandated it, I wouldn't be acting like I'm scared of it. You know what I mean? I'm a fighter.
Right.
So
That's why I don't really buy into all that, oh, it's a bad style matchup. You always have a chance to win. You know what I mean? So Cruz, if his team don't like it, I mean, do they not believe in his power? Like 1 minute they saying, oh, this little guy's like a little Mexican Tyson. Well, let me see him go in there and do something to Shakur then. Let me see him check the chin, right? At least make it happen. Like you see Linares, didn't he catch Devin Haney?
absolutely. And then we all know that it's not just losing, it's how you lose.
Right.
That's why Pitbull, that's what kind of made him a star, going 12 rounds with Tank. That's what kind of took him to the next level, a loss.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm looking at it right here, P. It says this too after they announced the fight. The winner, if the fight takes place, which is highly unlikely, will be named mandatory for Devin Haney. So they already tell you right there, it's highly unlikely this fight's gonna happen. That's crazy, man.
Yeah. So
well, they trying though. The WBC, they trying. They trying to make them. They trying to make a fight, man.
Right. I mean, but the thing about it, like on the flip side is, if they start pressing the issue and start stripping people, then it's a chance that fights it's gonna be, things could get messy. You feel me? Things could get messy. If they start stripping people, then we won't see Earl and Terrence for Undisputed. We might still see them, but in my opinion, the Undisputed is part of it for me, and I ain't gonna lie. It ain't the only thing, but that adds a little more intrigue to the fight. You know what I mean? For me.
Yeah, it does. It does, because if they didn't have the belts and you had other guys running around with the belts, it would cause a lot of confusion. even for the casual fan, they'd be like, well, if Errol and Terrence are the guys, why are these guys over here holding belts too? You know what I mean? Like this one here has
Yeah.
all of the belts on the line. There's no question. That's why it's called undisputed, right? So yeah, I agree with you, man. That's part of the entertainment of it to me, man. But yeah, that's all the fights on the list I was looking forward to. P. I want to ask you, man, about this. To talk about the well, it's not really talk. It's supposed to be official. Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, but before the fight happens, Tank's got a fight coming up in January, man. Like, what do you? We were talking about this earlier. What do you think about the build up to it, man? Like, are they doing too much, or is it just right at this point?
Yeah, it's starting to turn into, I guess, the circus. Is like, Ryan Garcia, he was the one calling out Tank, several times. Now it finally seemed that it worked, and they allegedly got to fight, a done deal for next year in Las Vegas. But it's not really no real bad blood, because Tank is from the street and Ryan Garcia is from probably the suburbs somewhere. So it's like that beef can't be real. So now we see them going back and forth on Twitter. It's just not real. And they see the money in the fight, and now they just building up the fight, trying to get, I guess, everything they can get out of it, but I guess I just seen, I think Ryan is that true? He taking the tune-up fight in January too, or
let me see.
I seen some talk about it. I don't know how true it is, but they announced that fight, but then Tank got another fight. It just threw me off how you announce one fight, but you got another fight coming up before that. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. It's just a circus out here right now.
Yeah, I was looking at his Twitter. I don't see anything on here announced, but I'm sure he's gonna try to get in one too. I'm sure he will. But
I think I think one of the names I heard him mentioning was Pitbull Cruz.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
And now, how would that fight play out? That's an even more weirder fight than. I can't see him accepting that.
I think
over Shakur.
Yeah, I can't either, man. Like, well, I can because
it's
a style thing. It's a style entertainment thing here. He's gonna say, "I'll fight Ryan because he's fast, he's Mexican, and it'll bring fans." But Shakur is gonna be high risk, even though Shakur is considered a better fighter. He's gonna want to be like, you know what, this guy could make me look bad. So I'm gonna go with Ryan.
Right.
And
it might be more money over on the Ryan side too, at the end of the day.
Yeah, because Ryan getting his belt, but he bringing in money, man. But that's what, like you were saying a minute ago, like it being a circus. It is, man, because Tank's already got belts before. He's held belts, but the build up to this one is like, why do I have to fight this Luis Garcia before I fight Ryan when Ryan is not even a champion? Why are we treating it like a championship fight? It's a big money fight, but why are we treating it like it's a championship? It's not even Teofimo at this point or Lomachenko. Why we got to make it seem like it's that level? This fight should have been happening. You know what I mean? This fight should have been happening.
And that's kind of just like my thing. Like, it just go back to the Terrence Crawford and the Earl Spence. It was the same thing. They was negotiating. And then a fight popped up, and it's just like, how can you make a side fight so quick? You know what I mean? Yeah. And can't make a major fight in a long time. You know what I mean? It's just confusing, bro. Tank just announced that he was fighting a few days before he announced who he was fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So in my opinion, they were still trying to find an opponent.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were still
so
trying to find
I just be confused about how quick they can make fights, bro. I mean, we see it getting done in no time. I mean, Terrence Crawford made the fight with David Avenesian. It had to be quick. He couldn't have been negotiating two fights at a high level simultaneously. You know what I mean? Not at high level you can't be. It's too many details to be doing two at the same time. You know what I mean? So
especially one is
once
you never did business with before, and it's kind of still shaky. You know what I mean? Like you don't know the full
absolutely, you
reputation
crossing
of
every T and dotting every I, and
yeah,
absolutely. So I'm
yeah.
just saying, man. He seen that going left, and then probably hopped on something else. But I'm just and made it happen, like that. So I'm just saying, man, it's just confusing to the fans. We see, like I said, we see fights that take years to make, and then we see fights that get made in a week, a day.
And you know what? Skill wise, this Garcia guy might be, well, yeah, Hector Luis Garcia. He might be more dangerous than Ryan Garcia. I mean, this dude skills seem to be on the par the way he outboxed and beat up Chris Colbert, man. So
Yeah,
it's not really like a
yeah,
lead up to something bigger. Like the Ryan fight should just be the Ryan fight right now. If he want to fight
the round fight.
this Hector guy one day, fine. But they make it seem like, oh, we're gonna make y'all wait. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna make y'all wait. There's a little prelude till then, but people don't want this prelude. They just want to see Ryan and Tank fighting now. That's where I'm at with it.
Right, 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 right. Why did we have to wait till next year? Not putting a date on next year, just saying
Yeah.
Vegas 2023. I'm saying Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence could have said the same thing, right? We fighting in 2023 in Vegas. Would the fans have accepted that?
Right, man. Yeah.
Would
Like,
the fans have accepted them just saying we fighting next year is a done deal, 2020? You know what I mean? In Vegas, would they have accepted that? I don't really think so, man.
right. Yeah, nah, they
I
they
don't
they
really
would have
think
been
so.
they would have been the same way we are with this. They'd have been like, wait a minute, y'all fighting these guys. We don't care about that. We want this solid date. You ain't even give us no date. You know what I mean? Like they gonna
Exactly. We
come up with
want
a
to know.
poster.
We want to know a date and time on that fight when y'all talking about
Mhm.
next year in 2023. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And I'm
So
starting to understand the fans' perspective more when they get mad because when they want to know the date so they can come out and support it. And by support it, they
right,
taking their hard-earned money out there, making plans at a hotel, maybe flying out. They got to get the ticket, get the best seat they can afford, so they want to have all of that planned out to support them. But sometimes it seems like these fighters are kind of playing games too much, you know what I mean? Like, or the managers are. So it's like, I understand where the fans coming from, they want to come out and
I'm good.
support something, but how can they if they don't have an official date? So yeah, I agree. I don't get as mad, but I can understand how some lose it.
Yeah, and well, I'm glad you brought that up for the simple fact that that's something that I don't know. Hopefully, some fighters out there listening because that's something they need to keep in mind that because they think we online bashing them and we hounding them. No, you say you're a fighter. You say you're the best. You say you want to fight this man. We just want to see y'all fight and get a day so we can plan for it. We not getting checks like y'all doing. We not
Mhm.
rich like y'all rich. So,
Yeah.
like you say, this is something that I might have to save up for. Oh, Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford fight in 2023. All right, I'm gonna start saving now. You know what I mean? Because I got to fly to Vegas. I got to get a hotel. I got to get a couple outfits to wear. I got to do X, Y, and Z.
Mhm.
So I'm just saying, I'm glad you brought that up because, that's most fans. It's more regular fans than it is rich fans. Yeah, it is some rich fans that, got money to go ahead and just do whatever they need to do right then and there. But, most of the people are just regular working people that would have to plan something like that out. So, it's something for them to keep in mind when we on the internet hounding them, man. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because
Yeah.
we need to know so we can start planning.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, because the other day I was just looking, I was looking around on YouTube, different videos and boxing channels. And there was a time when I was like, leave it alone. I'd be like, y'all getting too mad. But then I'm like, well, you know what? These fans going to fights. that's their entertainment. The same way these rich boxers are going to Dubai or buying themselves a new Bugatti or whatever they buy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, or you know,
Mm-hmm.
going to a big show, just going to a big show the same way the fans are doing it. The difference is the fans are taking their hard-earned money that they work for every day, saving up a little bit extra, doing overtime to get what they need for that particular moment. They don't have this at the disposal. So they do take it seriously. You know, they'd be like, I put all my money in and watching these fights. Like, I like Errol, I like Crawford. But then it's like when Crawford says something about like, oh, these YouTubers need to get a life. Well, they do have a life. They raising that money to go see your fights. You know what I mean? They just
Absolutely.
taking the time out to
Absolutely.
express it on YouTube. So that's like, you gotta understand where the normal people come from. Like, y'all had everything spoon fed to y'all, that y'all just act like y'all can think people are gonna think like you think, but they don't, because they don't have everything
But
given to them.
absolutely, mind you, it's some idiots online. We
Oh yeah.
get that. You know what I'm saying? We get
Mm-hmm.
that. We get that all day. It's some idiots out here, and just flat out, hands down, idiots. So,
Mm-hmm.
I can only imagine what all fighters are hearing there, or some of the comments they gotta deal with and read. Some people are just idiots, but we talking about people who just might want to fight day. I
Right.
mean, I'm not with people bashing them and calling them. You ain't never gonna hear me really calling somebody out their name and a
Right.
bitch. I'm not that because that's where I come from. They fighting words, ain't? I don't,
All day.
you call somebody out their name, yeah. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
that's you never really gonna hear me do that, but I understand where people coming from. But yeah, it still is a respect thing. Listen, I ain't trying to call Wilder no bitch. Then having to possibly run into him, man. No, I ain't. Nah, bro. I
Shoot, I
ain't.
wouldn't even call Ryan
You
Garcia
feel
that.
me?
Yeah, I wouldn't even
Yeah,
call Ryan
yeah.
Garcia
You can
that.
work it all the way down. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? You
Yeah.
can work the weights all the way down. But I'm just saying, it's all about respect. It's a way to do things. People
Mhm.
they disappointed with Terrence Crawford. I get it. But you can't say being they talking about his mother ugly and this and just some of the
Yeah.
nonsense people doing, man. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
That's
like when they
crazy.
do too much, that's, yeah, we don't talk about them people, but like the ones that are just out here actually promoting y'all, and the ones that actually
Yeah.
putting your name, making it relevant. Because like you said, P, like,
Supporting.
yeah, because like you said, P, every time you hear about Spencer Crawford, it's online, right? You don't really hear people at work talking about him, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I hear people
Or
about talking about the UFC at
ESPN
work,
or
but
it, any of the major platforms, and it's
mhm,
online.
yeah,
It's his own little world online. So it's like, this is a big piece of y'all relevancy. It's just the way it is right now. So I mean, we all getting that. We just vetting some of our things about the game. You know what I mean? The game been crazy for years and years. Now we in the media age, the new media age
hmm
of boxing, and it's opened up a whole new realm of new politics.
Oh man, I mean, yeah, like we thought the politics
So
before was bad, but now
I know, right?
it's like you got to
Yeah,
take business
yeah.
101 and business man just to understand
Uh,
terms now, man. It's
yes,
crazy.
yes,
Mm.
yes. And real quick, and like I said it from the beginning. Once it seemed like Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford had agreed that they wanted to fight. I knew we was about to go into this whirlwind of debates and controversy, and it was cool and it was fun. A lot of it was entertaining. I mean, some of it was interesting. People
Mhm.
bought all types of different angles and perspectives on the fight. Some of them I thought were interesting. Some of them were stupid, but it was fun. But then it went left when the fight never got made. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
When the fight never got made, then it was like, yeah, a lot of people, it turned into anger. You know what I'm saying? It was
Yeah, it
fun,
did.
but it turned into anger when, we got worked up and didn't get the climax. You know what I'm saying? So, um, like we were talking earlier, hopefully, 2023, we can get that fight like we are supposedly getting Tank and Ryan Garcia in 2023. We haven't seen no contract signed. We haven't heard no
No,
date.
we have, man.
So they could just say that too, and we would have been satisfied. That's all they had to do. You know what I mean?
And let me say this to people before we close out, too, man. Like, I'm really looking forward to some official posters. These fan posters be killing me, man. They be teasing the crap out of me. I be thinking the fight is official, but it's like, dang, man, no, it ain't. It's somebody just made it, man, because they want to see it as bad as we do. But man, it be driving me
They
crazy,
so
man.
high level with it now, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they ain't just like it used to be. Yeah, they high level with it. Got the shit looking like it really would. You know what I mean? So yeah, this new media politics.
Boy, I tell you, man, like there was the did you see the Spence Crawford one that had the November 19th date on it too?
Yes, yes,
Oh man,
yes,
G, they
yes.
killing me, man.
And look, it was so funny, Ant, because of course November 19th was a few days ago. What was Saturday, right?
Yep, Saturday. Just yesterday.
It was people actually vetting on that date. Pissed off, man. I was supposed to be watching the biggest fight of my life today. It was just funny, you know what I mean? People just ranting about the fight or whatever. I said, "Oh man, that's crazy, man." But
But think about it. The way
yeah,
boxers are passionate about actually fighting, that's how passionate fans are about watching it, man. They just don't understand.
yeah, absolutely,
They just don't
absolutely.
understand, man. But yeah, man, P, about to wrap this one up, bro. Pretty good show. I feel like we did talk about some good stuff today, man. Always good to get together, man, and chop it up. You know, was there anything you want to say as far as final thoughts, man? Like anything else going on in this boxing
Yeah,
world?
real quick, Ant. You know, it don't really have nothing to do with boxing, but I definitely just want to mention it. Um, it been a lot of just negative stuff happening in the black community. Period. But
Mm-hmm.
the last few months have just been like concentrated, and it's just overwhelming, man. But I definitely want to give a shout out to how you pronounce her name, and whatever, Miss Robinson out of Charlotte, the young lady who lost her life, man, because that just that just it I couldn't even watch the video, man. It was just
Yeah,
it's just sad, man.
Shanquella.
Oh yeah, just
Yeah, Shanquella
Shanquilla
Robinson. Yeah.
Shanquilla
Mm-hmm.
Robinson. Yeah, you know, but it was just a horrible, horrible, horrible thing, man. And I just wanna, give a send my condolences to, her family. I'm in Raleigh, so she a couple hours from where I'm at right now, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just a sad story, man. But send prayers to her family, and I don't know, man. It's just a rough time we living in right now, man. And just you don't know who to trust. This girl thought these were her friends. These were people she went to school with. She trusted, and they wind up doing that to us. So just be mindful of your surroundings, man, and just try to stay out the way as much as possible. Is all I can say right now, man. But
Yeah,
other
man,
than that,
definitely.
man, I said I just wanted to definitely mention that, man, because that just rocked me, because it's just like I got girls, man. My daughter could be somewhere on vacation with these people
Mm-hmm.
that she tell me are her friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just sad. Then they had the father. He was the one who it was just a mess, man. It's just a lot.
Well, yeah, P, I know you got your daughters and you always telling them, but I tell you this, P, man, like having young black women, raising them, you got to be careful with them now, because I do a lot of research on that stuff, man, and like they're some of the highest trafficked women out here. There's a lot of them that be kidnapped,
Mm-hmm.
and and they just face a lot of hate
Right.
in this world, period. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean that I didn't watch the video myself. I just seen the stills. I can't watch. I don't watch that type of stuff, man. Like when it get
I mean,
when it get
it's brutal, man.
that real, I can't even look
I'm
at it.
saying, we listen, bro. We watch a million fights, bro. We watch a million. We watch
I watch horror
violence
movies.
to the, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
But something like that, it was too brutal for me to get through it, because it was just disgusting, man. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So like I say, man, prayers out to her family, man. I don't even know how to feel about something like that. I just know it's a terrible thing.
yeah. And I'll tell you this too before I go. I'm gonna send you the little clip. Young black nurse, young woman was going to Walmart. I don't know if you've seen it, like 6 a.m., man. And it is something your daughter's probably going to need as they get older, man. Like she was getting off of work and she went in to Walmart and said a white van pulled up into the parking lot. She kept her eyes on it. But when she came out, they had been watching where she parked. So they pulled up right to her car, she said, and like the door opened up as she got close to her car. And thank God she was packing. She had to conceal it. So she let them see it and she was ready to draw. So that door shut and they took off. So yeah, these girls have to be careful out here, man.
Yeah. It's a crazy world we living in right now, and that's why I say, man, like I said, it's something bad happening every day. It's been a whole lot. It's overwhelming now, but I definitely just want to acknowledge it. Yeah, I see it. I'm feeling it, and this girl who just lost her life, it just was like enough is enough, man. I mean, a lot of it is us doing it to us, ain't these was
yeah
brothers, black people killing black people. And then lying and trying to cover it up, saying it was a friend. It's just a mess, and that's a whole nother situation. But yeah, like I said, I did just want to mention that.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. Because I saw it the other day, man. It turned my stomach, man. I was like, I don't even want to look at that, man. But yeah, I definitely respect you for bringing that up, Pete. Shout out, man. But yeah, let everybody know where they can follow you at too, man. Before we get up out of here.
Y'all can check me out at on IG at Loud Pack Boxing. You can check me out on YouTube at Loud Pack Boxing 1. You can check both of us out on IG at the Jab Effect, and you can check both of us out on Facebook at the Jab Effect as well.
All right,
I think I got it, man.
Yeah, oh, you got it. He was going down the list. You got it. But you can follow me and subscribe on IG and YouTube, Combo Breaking 99, and y'all can hear the show, the Jab Podcast, on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, anywhere you listen to a podcast, iHeartRadio, because some of these links, they just been popping up themselves now, so we all over the place now. So yeah, anytime you want to hear some boxing, just pull up the Jab Podcast with my partner here, Boxing P. But yeah, man, P, another good show, man. Let me ask you real quick, did you watch that Izzy and Pierre fight, man?
Yeah, man. Nothing but respect to both of them, man. I mean,
Man,
Izzy, he was in there to the end.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get the kid his respect. He be fighting. He got some heart, man.
Yeah,
he got some heart.
I tell you though, man, some people just got your number, man, because that's 0-3 against this guy now, man. Just
Yeah.
fighting period, man. So I don't know, man. We'll see if he can get his belt back, though, man. I just wanted to ask you about that real quick, man, because I forgot about it. But yeah, man, we about to get up out of here, y'all. Like always, Combo Breaking 99.
It's your boy P.
And we out, y'all. Later.
Later.